The Asia Cup 2025 is in its crucial phase, the Super Fours, and with each team having played one game already, you are starting to get a slightly clearer idea as to what it is that the competitive circle could look like for this phase of the tournament, which will, of course, decide the finalists of the tournament. Now, India and Bangladesh, rather surprisingly, have been the two winners. I say surprisingly, not for India, but for Bangladesh, many of whom were not expecting to be in this fight for the final. Yet, basis their first match result, they very much are. India, of course, ended up beating Pakistan, and Bangladesh, well, they stunned Sri Lanka in the first Super Fours match of the tournament, which means that as things stand, both India and Bangladesh have 2 points each, whereas Sri Lanka and Pakistan, well, they have no points. But good news for fans who are tracking both of these teams, that is Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Well, there's still hope for both of them to make it to the finals. But what is also worth noting is that one team has it a little tougher than the other, even though, well, the permutations, combinations for both of them really is exactly the same. Let's first take a look at what it is that Pakistan must do. For them, again, they have two matches against Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, and they need to win them both. Win both those matches, and they're all but guaranteed a spot in the final of the Asia Cup. It could still come down to net run rate, but it will most likely guarantee them that spot. They can qualify still with one win and one loss, but will then be reliant on other results going their way. And again, if they end up winning, say, for instance, their next game and then lose the final one, they can still qualify with one win, but then they'll need India potentially or one other country to stay unbeaten through the Super Fours and then let it come down to net run rate. So that then brings in a lot of permutations and a lot of combinations. So what about Sri Lanka? Pakistan, I think I'd say they do have it slightly easy because they've already lost to the strongest team in the Super Fours, that is India. Where it is that Sri Lanka stand? Well, they need to win against both Pakistan and India, and that really is where things get a little bit complicated for them, because mathematically they will still be in the race, but I think it's fair to say that every other team in the Super Fours is seeing a match against India as a little bit of a write-off, and beating India is not going to be an easy thing for them to do at all. Of course, that's not saying it's impossible. Mathematically, all Sri Lanka need to do, win the next two games, and they'll pretty much be up there in the race for the top two spots. But beating India is going to be a tough ask. Historically, in recent times, India have had the wood over Sri Lanka, and that perhaps is where it gets really tough for Sri Lanka, because again, if they are to go on, they'll have to not only beat Pakistan in their match, which is going to take place on Tuesday, that is September 23rd, but they'll also have to beat India. So that's where things get really tricky for them. Of course, that's not saying it's impossible, just saying it is a lot tougher for them, because Pakistan, their one loss has come against the team that most people would have expected them to lose to anyway. But conventional cricketing knowledge of the current time says that Pakistan should very easily be beating Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, or at least will have a better chance than what Sri Lanka would have a chance of beating India as well as Pakistan. That's where it becomes a little tough for Sri Lanka, but they do have a good side. Same can be said about Pakistan. It might get a little tetchy, but the two games that they have left, well, they're the two most winnable games. But what do you guys think? Which of them would be the favorites? I say Pakistan have a very slight edge, but what do you guys think? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon as well so you know when it is we're going live or uploading a new video. Don't forget to follow us on social media too. We're on Instagram, X and Facebook, and stay tuned for more such videos from the world of sport.